It's kind of fun to have it live.
Hello, friends. It's super fun to have it live. Hello. It is Monday. Motivation. Don't worry, everything's fine. We got it. We got it all prayed
Got it
up.
covered.
We prayed, so it is all good. I'm just gonna adjust a little bit over here to be in the love zone. Hi, Rose. We were just talking.
Hi, Rose.
She was saying that Latina Jews make the most beautiful. What did you say?
I just said
we have
that
another Latina
I said
Jewish.
Colombian plus Jewish makes beautiful babies because I was thinking how beautiful Deborah is.
Oh, you're so sweet, man. Latina Jewish influencer in the house, man. Rose is Beverly Hills influencer in the house. We are going to be talking about how to date for your soulmate. Oh, Berlin, hello. How are you?
Hey, Jordan.
Hi, Jordan. He is the best speaker at our Toastmasters.
I saw your
She
speech.
saw the speech.
Totally inspirational, amazing story. You got that. Awesome.
Yes. So feel free to share this broadcast so that your other single, ready to mingle friends will be able to hear from the expert dating coach, Jennifer Gaynor. I'm about to introduce her coming through. Hi, Alyssa.
Hello, Alyssa.
Welcome. So glad you could be here. And we are going to be taking questions as well. So if you have questions that you want to ask, you can always write them in the comments and we'll hopefully have time to get to them. Otherwise, be sure to like and be the fan of Jennifer's page, Joytopia. I put it in the description so you can get all the exciting information that she's doing. So for those of you that don't know me, which would be crazy because you're my friend, my name is Deborah Deras, and this is Deb Talks. You know they have TED Talks?
Yes.
Well, guess what? They also have
I love it.
Deb Talks. And
love
Deb
it.
Talk isn't about Deborah. It's about being dynamic, empowered, and bold, friends. And it takes sometimes being bold to get out there dating, especially if you haven't dated for a while. It takes being bold to open your heart to love after heartbreak. Are you with me, friends? Are you picking up what I'm throwing down? Well, today we have an amazing speaker, an amazing coach, an amazing love and dating expert that is here. She is a certified dating and relationship coach and the founder of Joytopia Coaching. Ooh la la, love that name, Joytopia. She works with conscious, successful singles who are tired and frustrated in the search for the right partner. Oh my God, that's me. And she helps them to easily attract an amazing partner who will love them as they are. Oh my gosh. You know what? I know you think this is for you and I'm so giving, but I'm just really selfish because I wanted to hear from Jennifer because I'm her target market. And, Valentine's Day is this week. Did you know? It's kind of, that commercial Hallmark holiday, but sometimes it brings up issues for singles. So without any further ado, Manny, Alyssa, Rose, Berenice, please help me welcome.
Look,
Jennifer.
Venice Beach is watching.
She's actually in Germany.
Okay.
She just loves Venice
I was like,
Beach.
all of Venice Beach is watching.
Yeah, that's my friend.
Okay.
Yeah, she's in Germany. So welcome, Jennifer.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
And remember to share on your feed. And for those of you that are watching on the replay, you can there's such a delay. Look, she's just answering now. Oh,
Yeah.
It's okay. For those of you that are watching on the replay, you can still comment and ask your questions, and we will get to them as soon as possible. So let's get started. See, Rose says welcome.
Welcome.
We met at the Beverly Hills Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
She's a doll.
We've chatted a little bit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So I want to ask the first question. So
Go for it.
I have a lot of very successful friends that are very well educated. I mean, master's degree, PhDs, deans of universities, and just super duper freaking successful. And it seems like, and not only are they successful with their education, they're good looking, they are fun, they are like excellent singers, great dancers, like super freaking human beings. Yet those are the ones that seem to be the most single. Why is that?
That is such a great question. And I don't know if you saw it. There was this huge Facebook thread in my page. I asked the question, do men like strong women? What do you think? And I have never had a thread get so blown up in my life. So I'm glad we're talking about this because it seems to be an area of interest. And so what I want to share with you is some research, because I'm very spiritual, but I also love science and I love actual data and research. And so one of the communities that I'm a member of, sometimes at the workshops, they'll have these panels of men where women can ask men like any questions, and we create a very safe space for the men, and we get these really authentic, truthful answers for them. And so this question, without fail, almost always comes up: do men like strong women? Right? Anyone want to guess? Do men like strong women? Go ahead. Just
Allegedly. Ricky has the best wife. He loves a strong woman. Yeah.
So here is, I'll tell you what they said. Here's what the general consensus is that men actually they love strong, capable women. Think about it like this, from not even a higher consciousness spiritual perspective, but from a survival perspective. If you're going to put together a team, like a family team, you don't want a weak link. You don't want somebody that can't carry the water and forgets where the children are and, like can't manage
Jordan
the
says
household.
He loves strong women.
Thank you. See, proof already. So men, a lot, and of course, we're going to go into generalizations, and of course, everybody's individual and there are always nuances. But in general, a lot of men really love strong women. However,
I thought you were going to say
however, so here's the thing that strong women need to be mindful of. Okay. You ready?
I love the way she phrases that, mindful.
Just mindful.
Not judge
You do not have to change who you are. You are amazing as you are. You are an asset. You're a strong, if you're a strong woman, you are an asset to the team. Alpha men in particular love alpha women. They love alpha women because they don't want a weak link in there. If you're an alpha man, you want the strongest team you can have. You do not want a weak link in the team. You want someone who can hold the fort down and manage it.
Oh.
Right?
Right.
And perhaps even, and if you're bringing in some resources, even better. Men love women that are, a lot of men, they don't want the full, they enjoy not having the entire financial strain anymore. They love that. Here's where you've got to be mindful. Men, and I know this relates to one of your other questions. People are calling in for questions.
I know. What's going on?
All right. So people, what you want to be mindful of is, and I know this relates to one of your other questions, so I apologize if I'm answering it in advance, but the men also really need a woman to be receptive. They need to feel like a woman is receiving what they're given. So if a man, it could be anything. If a man's opening the door for you, he wants to feel like that was acknowledged and appreciated. And so here's the reason that a lot of strong women think that men don't like strong women is because a lot of strong women, without realizing it, without meaning to, they give off this attitude of, I've got this, I don't need you.
It's true. Yeah.
I don't need you. And so the men are like, well, if you don't need me, I guess maybe I should go find somebody who, they want to be needed. So they're going to go find someone who needs you. So here's what these strong quality men say is ideal.
Wait, can I pause you for a second?
Yeah.
Because that receptivity, one of the things about receptivity is that's the feminine energy, right?
Absolutely.
There's I don't know what the alternative of receptivity is pushing, or what is the corresponding energy?
It would be like penetrating or giving. Giving is masculine energy.
Right.
And giving.
And receiving
is the feminine energy.
Is the feminine energy.
Yeah.
And there was a time when a guy would offer to do something for me and I'd be like, no, I'm good, I've got it. But now I'm much more receptive.
Good.
So I've improved.
Good. Very well done. That's great. Yeah. And so that's a good job. That's exactly, so this is ideal. So you're an example here of what, by the way, Ricky's agreeing with us. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
Ricky.
you for backing this up so I don't look like an idiot.
Ricky's the sweetest. Both Ricky and Jordan are the sweetest, nicest husbands, by the way.
Aww.
Yeah.
Well, see, isn't it good to get confirmation from great men?
Exactly.
We want confirmation from great men, right? So, what these men have said is ideal, and Jordan, Ricky, maybe you could, I'd love to hear your feedback on this, is that what's ideal is a strong woman who can, hold the fort down and manage her own, who will let a man of choice give to her and take care of her at times, who will let him help her. It's not that you need him to help you.
Distinction. Not that you're needy or needed, but you allow him to give to you.
You are allowing him the pleasure and the honor of stepping into his masculine energy and providing for you.
Because that's a boost for him.
It's an absolute boost for him. A lot of men say that they feel confident when they can provide for a woman and she receives it well.
Nice.
Let me know if you agree with me, men.
Yeah, are you picking up what she's throwing down?
Yes, are you picking it up?
And the women that are super successful, PhDs, master's degree, I mean, you have to be so focused and so disciplined and kind of a masculine energy to be determined and make it happen and do it. And then when your time to date and you're still having that same determination, it doesn't work.
Well, it depends on, I always look at polarity. It depends on what role you want to play in the relationship, meaning there are plenty of marriages where the woman is a predominantly masculine energy.
I did that already.
Okay, right? And it's so, it's all about polarity, what you want with this masculine, feminine energy. And I actually call it not even masculine, male, female, not male, female, not masculine, feminine, but for the way that I was trained, it's actually hunter versus gatherer energy, right? Because they're different energies. And so what you want is balance. If you have two masculine energy entities, you're going to butt heads. If you have two feminine energies, there's no sort of spice or chemistry or tension. And so what you're looking for is that balance. It's just good, again, going back to that word mindful, to be mindful of which energy do you prefer to be? And are you in alignment? We love that word, right?
Yes, we do.
Are you in alignment with that energy? Meaning there was a certain point, I used to be very masculine energy in my relationship because, I was on my own from the time I was 18 and I was in survival mode. And when you got to survive, you got to go out and get yours. You got to go out and get it. You make it happen. You don't wait. You're not surrendering. You're just, making stuff happen. And that was what I learned to survive. And then I, ended up in a lot of relationships where I felt like I always had to make the decisions and do everything and take care. It was just, and I wasn't very relaxed. And then I started reading and learning about masculine, feminine energy and polarity. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm actually more feminine by nature. And I would prefer a masculine energy man who can, take the lead at least at times, so I'm not always having to make the decisions all the time. And so I had to really practice receiving and learn because, and you want to know, why people struggle with receptivity, right?
No.
Because it's much more vulnerable to receive.
Yeah, because you're in control when you're the giver, right?
It's much more vulnerable. If you've ever I know you've received from God in the universe, and I'm sure you've received from men. And if you've ever really let yourself receive, it can feel almost like, it does feel like you're out of control for a moment, and you've got to be able to breathe and trust.
Wow, that's profound. That is tweetable, friends, because that's not only in the area of relationships. I think that would be in the area of money and everything, because it's energy.
Everything. Well, did you hear what Marianne Williamson said about this? She has this amazing quote that I love. Can I share it?
Yes.
So I went and saw Marianne speak live. She used to be at the Saban Theater every Monday.
Right.
And
I think she's next week.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Shout out to Marianne.
Yeah, we love you.
Pound Marianne Williamson. Anyway, so she was speaking at the Saban Theater, and she said this thing that I've just never forgotten. And she said the relationship of God, and you can, fill in your higher power if God isn't your thing, but your relationship of God to man is one of masculine to feminine, meaning that our job is not to try to make stuff happen. Our job is to receive all the blessings that God wants to give us.
Our job is not to make stuff happen, but to receive all the blessings that
our higher powers, our God wants to give us.
I'm reading the Vortex. I'm doing the Vortex meditations, and they have this thing. It says, in order to make money, that it's not about how hard we work. It's how consistent our thoughts and energy vibration is about that. And when I was doing the abundance exercise, it wasn't about money. It was about, because you're supposed to create your best case scenario. And instead of doing my best case scenario about money, it had nothing to do about money. It was all about love. But I'm like, why am I doing this about relationship when I'm supposed to be focused on money? Then I realized it's just the same.
Because everything is relationship. Everything. Or relationship
with money.
Relationship with money, relationship with energy, relationship with our higher power, relationship with other people, relationship with ourselves. Everything is relationship on some level, in my opinion.
I agree. My new book is on conscious connection. It's all about connection to source, connection to self-love, connection to service, connection to your soul's contract. Same thing. Wow, friends. Take a breath on that. No, that's good. That's a great quote. I know it is a great quote. Yes, and I have much more questions for you. I have a whole list here. Let me go to the next one. You guys have questions? Make sure you type them in the comments. So where do we find these quality men that are soulmate ready? Quality.
Well,
Or women, for those of you men that are looking for women.
Or women that are looking for women.
Exactly.
Or men that are looking for men.
Or whatever.
So you probably heard this, because I know you and I worked with this person, but there's a saying that if you're truly ready and you're truly aligned, your soulmate will have a wreck in your yard.
Will have a wreck in your yard?
Yeah, you haven't heard that before?
No.
Okay, so there's a saying that if you're truly aligned and ready, that your soulmate will have a wreck in your yard, which actually happened to one of this coach's clients. Like, she was just getting soulmate ready, and her soulmate literally had a wreck in her yard, and that's how they met.
Like a car accident?
Yeah, car accident.
Or my soulmate will move next door to me.
Maybe.
You never know.
And so, I really like a combination, going back to that conversation of, is it your thoughts? Is it your actions? Is it your words? Is it your feelings? I say, let's be holistic about it. Let's put it all together. I do believe, just in the, my philosophy is 90% inner work. Like 90% of it is what do you have going on in here. Maybe a little more.
Did you hear that? 90% inner work.
Yeah.
Because like literally the first thought that I had this morning, I was like, oh, I really need to do more weight training so that I have sexy arms or whatever. So I'm going to get tracked by soulmate. That's like 10%, right?
Well, if that puts you in alignment and brings you confidence up, then great.
Right.
There's no problem with that. But there's a difference between wanting to do it because it feels good and thinking you need to do it because there's somehow a deficiency in yourself if you don't do it. So that's the distinction, because all of our relationships will mirror how we feel about ourselves, right? So if we think we're deficient somehow, then we might be attracting someone who thinks, oh, you've got a deficiency somewhere. But if we're like, I am lovable as I am, I'm not perfect, I have quote unquote flaws, but I'm lovable as I am, all that I am with my eccentricities, quirks, that's when we attract somebody who goes, I love you as are, including your eccentricities and quirks.
And this is why I highly recommend working with a coach like Jennifer, because these are subconscious limiting beliefs and patterns that we're not aware of. If we were aware of it, especially as intelligent, highly educated people, we would have fixed it by now. I had a conversation, there was an accident on PCH, and we met all the nicest people because we were like 4 hours, and we, of course, went to happy hour. And instead of waiting in traffic, so all the happy hour people and this one woman, very well educated, and her parents had always told her she was overweight and would never get a guy. And she would date these guys that would say the same thing, like, I can't introduce you to my family until you lose weight. And we were telling her, my friend and I, it wasn't about you losing weight. It's about releasing that limiting belief and the guy that you like. If you want to lose weight, that's fine, but it is not the prerequisite.
Yes, because...
And she was not heavy at all.
Because there are other women who are overweight who are like, I am lovable as I am. Like, take me or leave me. Like, I am, like, I had one client when as you know, many years ago, before I was a coach, I was a Pilates instructor.
Still in my phone.
And
that's how I met her.
Time to change that.
I know, I need to change that.
Anyway, so one of my clients, she'd come in and it was, and I asked her, I always ask people when they come in, what are your goals? And she was, by American standards, kind of a bigger girl. Mm-hmm. And I said, what are your goals? Thinking she's going to tell me I want to lose 50 pounds for my wedding. And she goes, you know what? She goes, I think I look great. I just want to feel better. And this woman's husband is so madly in love with her. He has never once complained about her weight. He thinks she's the cat's meow. He thinks she's perfect as she is, despite the fact that by American standards, she's kind of on the bigger side, if that makes sense. I mean, she is on the bigger side, and it's because she accepted herself as she is. So she attracted a mate who mirrors that belief exactly back to her. Mm-hmm. So that's what I meant by conscious. That's what I mean by consciousness is. And I 100% agree with Deborah. It's all about the subconscious belief. Most of us know we have some stuff on the surface, but we're really most of the time only seeing, like, I don't know, the figures change every year. Last I heard is like 95% of what's controlling what we're attracting and how we're behaving, and what we're saying and what we're doing is all subconsciously driven. And
the power of your subconscious thoughts are so magnificent. I went to a singles event the other night, and my previous conversations are where I only attract younger men. And I was like, no, that's not my truth. I attract abundant, successful men. And the one guy at this whole place of 100 that came up to me was a doctor that lives in Beverly Hills.
Nice.
And we were talking about meditation and chanting and all of the stuff. I'm like, you see, as I switched, it like manifested instantly.
So, and was he older?
No, he was age appropriate.
Okay.
Probably my age
yeah.
or younger.
I mean, that's what I've noticed lately is I just feel like manifestations are happening faster. As soon as we change our story, bam, we'll get evidence like,
For everyone, manifestations are happening?
I've seen that with myself and my clients. As soon as we shift the belief, so I mean, don't expect that because that can create attachment. But I'm just saying, like I notice sometimes manifestations can happen very quickly once we shift the story. But we've got to be able to shift the story.
Do you hear what she's saying? Shift the story. So whatever story that's running, and we need to get still and quiet so that we're awake and aware and aligned. That's why we say TGI, awake, aware, and aligned to what the story is. And if you just listen to your ego, that cannot be your ego sometimes, and just say, what is it saying to me? I only attract this, or this is this, or there's no single men in LA. Not true. When I walked in the singles party, I saw all these nice dressed men in suits. I asked the people, the matchmaking service, I'm like, do they know that this is a singles event? Or did they just come here? She's like, no, they knew. Like, there was a part of me that are like, oh, no men want to meet women in LA because there's so an abundance of women. And like men don't have all the choice in the world and they rather stay single. I'm like, Deborah, stop it.
So can I ask you a question about
Yes,
that?
friend.
So what would you like to manifest instead?
I would like to manifest a man that is totally seeking to be in a committed relationship. Like that.
Okay. With anyone?
No, with me, Van.
There you go. You got to be specific.
Ooh, I forgot.
You got to
Okay.
be. So how did it feel to say that?
There's a little heart beating that happens right when I say that.
Okay.
I don't know why. Look at I got teary-eyed.
You know about you're an NLP coach, so you know about parts, and maybe that one part of you is like, yes, let's bring on this committed relationship. Another part of you is like, I don't know, so there might be some. Are you okay?
Yes.
She's like,
I'm getting teared up. Yeah.
Oh, I just love this woman. She's such an amazing. By the way, I wouldn't be married without this woman. It's funny that I'm coaching her now because I would not probably be married without the help of this woman. So it's nice for me to be able to pay it back.
Thank you, beautiful.
You're welcome. So that you know how that works, that there's parts of us that are like, I know for me, when I was manifesting my guy, I was like, if you would ask me on the surface, I was like, I want nothing more than to find my soulmate, my husband, my partner, build a life with them. And when I actually started exploring those subconscious beliefs, there was like 3 pages of fears and concerns I had about what that might actually mean. Like, one of them, going back to the theme of this, was that I can't be a career woman. I can't be a strong career woman and have a man that will, want me. I'll have to either be barefoot in the kitchen, cooking meals and being subservient, saying yes, dear, or I get to be Oprah. There's no in between. It's one side, and that's because, and it's funny, you see these things on, like when I saw that, I'm like, well, that's kind of ridiculous. But the subconscious mind isn't rational. It's a scared, confused 4-year-old that's just terrified of feeling pain or getting hurt again. And so we create these blocks and we create this resistance for ourselves because we're afraid. But as you know, there's really nothing to be afraid of because the truth of the universe is love, right? The truth of the universe is love. So it's one of my mentors says it so eloquently. She says it's like, we all have these fears and they're kind of like monsters under the bed. Like when you were a little kid and you're like, oh my God, chupacabra. There's monsters under the bed and your parent comes in and they turn on the light and they say, look, there's no monsters, but you were afraid. It felt real for you just the same. But when you turn on the light, you realize there's no real monsters.
It's true.
Right. And so I think the process of becoming receptive and attracting your soulmate is very much the same. As we need to be able to clear and release the resistance or the fears we have on every level of our being, conscious, subconscious, to finding that when you do that, the universe will arrange it via the path of least resistance.
Oh my gosh. So like in my abundance class, we're on week 4 and it's all about releasing resistance. It's all the same.
It's all the same. It's always manifestation. Doesn't matter whether it's money. I mean, I love soulmate coaching because my personal biggest transformational story so far is with soulmates. Although this home finding process is giving it a run for its money. But for me, I walked the journey. I mean, I used to be, just to guys, for those of you that don't know me, I used to be a complete. She can vouch for it. I was a hot mess in relationships. I mean, I just really was always struggling in relationships. I would either attract guys that really I just couldn't, I just didn't have any passion for, or I would attract these men that I was like madly in love with, and maybe they date me for like 6 weeks and they'd promise me the world and then they'd just ghost on me. Like I got ghost. I mean, I have some serious ghosts. I have some serious ghosting stories going on. And it was this pattern that I had. And at first it's easy to blame the men. Right? Like, what is wrong with the men in this town? Right? It's easy. That's normal. What is wrong with the men in this town? But when, you have the exact...
Or women, if you've had that experience with women.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. And when you have an uncanny, for me, I had an uncanny pattern. Like, it was so ridiculous and specific that I was no longer able to put my power outside of myself on them. Mm-hmm. I could not put the blame. And I love what Dr. Beckwith says about this, how that's not, when you know that your programming is not in alignment with what you want, it's not your fault. It's never your fault. Most of our programming happened before the age of 7, right? It's not our fault, but that it is our responsibility, because as Tony Robbins says, we are response-able, right? We're response-able to respond differently to situations. So if we know that we have a fear, say, of like getting hurt again, or, that we'll have somehow lose something or suffer somehow, if we have something, we can be willing to, what we want to be able to do, and from my perspective, is to be able to look at those thoughts and go, first of all, is this really true? Like Byron Katie would say, is this really true?
Right.
Or is this just something maybe I made up a long time ago because I needed it to survive, right? And maybe, it served me then, but it's really not longer serving me. So maybe I'm going to be willing to turn this over to, for healing, to my heart power, et cetera. And then to be willing to just kind of really look at those monsters under the bed. Like, what are my fears about this? What am I really afraid of here? And being willing to look at that. For me, I went on, the reason I'm not so big on like, I do think action is important, and especially in particular inspired action when it feels like you've got like guidance, like do this thing now. Right. But I really think that the bigger shifts happen when we go inside and we look at, where is this, am I resisting this thing? And being honest with ourselves, right? Because a lot of times it's easy to be like, oh, I want this. Yeah, I'm in alignment, whatever. And then really deep down when we know by how we feel, by the way. Like me, I always used to feel anxious in relationships. Mm-hmm. That was a clue that a part of me was like, I don't want to do this, right? A part of me was like, yay, let's do it. Another part of me was like, I don't think so. There might be some bad things that happen. Right. So I had to get that all. I had to reconcile that split of those two parts. I know you know them. Oh yeah. I'm just speaking her language over here, but for it's great to. So I believe that if you can get free of resistance, you will be guided exactly, whether it's online, whether it's going to the grocery store that day, or whether it's staying home, you will be guided to exactly what you need to do to meet the right person for you. That's how it rolled out for me.
So identifying resistance, aligning with the energy, and then not so much about doing and pushing, but about taking inspired action. And even if that action is just being at home and knowing that the UPS guy, the Amazon Fresh guy could be your soulmate.
Yeah. No, I mean, it could be that. I mean, I took 6 months. I don't know if you remember, but I took 6 months off of dating. Mm-hmm. I went on over 200 first dates before I met my husband. And that action journey, that like dating treadmill, it wasn't working for me. It was like Groundhog's Day. That's what makes her the
expert. It was like God was setting you up so that you could help other people by putting you through that experience.
I think so. I think so. I mean, it makes, I believe that too. And so, I went on the action journey of like date. I was going on like sometimes like 3 to 4 internet dates a week. And my eyebrow girl called me the dating queen. I'm like, you don't get it. Like, I don't want to keep dating. I just want one great guy to like build a life with. And so I actually took 6 months off of dating after one breakup that really kind of got to me. And I realized, I'm in a pattern here. Mm-hmm. Like, this is Groundhog's Day. The faces change.
Right.
But the situation is like the same. Somebody's wowing at my 200 dates. I do not recommend that. You do not need to go on 200 first dates. I can coach you how to not have to go on. We're back. Anyways. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I really agree with that. And, when we think about the resistance, how can we clear the resistance, these blockages, if they're at the subconscious level and if our ego is running the show and it's this little scared kid that think that it's the boogeyman. I think that's why I started tearing up when you asked me about the love, because a part of me associates love with pain. Aww. I know. Because why would I start, when you said, would you like the love of your life? He's here at the door, and my instant reaction is to start crying. Yeah. I was going to say not normal, but that is normal. That's my process. But that's just the attachment. But so how do we clear these deep core limiting beliefs?
Are you willing to be in the hot seat?
Oh, yes. Oh, my God.
We don't have to.
Let me have a sip of water.
You don't have to.
No, I'm willing.
She's so brave.
I'm willing. I'm willing.
Deborah just puts her. Do you guys agree with me? This woman just so present for you guys. Just amazing. Okay. So you said that part of you wants to tear up when you think about having your soulmate, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I want you to do is I'm going to start a sentence, and I want you to finish it with the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Are you willing to do this?
Yes.
Without censoring?
Yes.
Even if it sounds weird or crazy?
Don't judge me, friends. Okay. Okay, yes.
All right.
They're all my friends, so.
Okay. You're so brave.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am scared to meet my soulmate because.
He might reject me.
And I think he might reject me because.
First thing that came is he might think I'm not good enough.
And he might not think I'm good enough because.
He wants somebody else.
And I think he'll want somebody else because.
He might think I'm not good enough.
Okay, got it.
Right.
All right, so can we look at this belief? I'm
Mm-hmm.
not good enough? Okay. So this belief you're having today that I'm not good enough. First of all, where in your body do you feel that belief?
In my gut.
Okay. And so this belief that you're having that I'm not good enough, is that really true?
Oh, no. It's not true at all.
Okay.
In fact, I always think on a conscious level, I'm fantastic. I'm like, I'm smart, I'm spiritual, I'm this. What more does he want, friend?
No, I got you.
Solve my dancer.
Look, I got you. I was in the same boat. Trust me. I was like, what more do they need? I got you. Okay. And so let's ask this. So when was the first time you ever remember having the thought, I'm not good enough? Do you remember? Like, go back as far as you can remember.
Oh, it was my first boyfriend in high school, my very first love. And we were dating for like a year and a half, and I thought we were going to get married. He was my first love, first love. And he just one day broke up with me because he wanted to date other people. And I think that was natural. He was 17. But his brother married his high school sweetheart.
Yeah.
But he decided he wanted to date other people.
Yeah.
He dated like one other girl and then did get married and then came back to me 25 years later. I was like, too late, friend.
All right. So, are you willing to experience a healing around, what would you say it was, like pain or heartbreak?
Oh.
What was it?
It was more than pain. It was like, I was like devastated. I remember being at 24-hour fitness, like crying on the floor, like like my whole body was in pain. That first love heartbreak.
Okay.
Because he wanted to roam about the cabin or whatever.
Are you willing to experience some healing around this?
Yeah. Don't make me cry on Facebook.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Normally I would do some tapping, but that takes a while.
Uh-huh.
So for Facebook, I'm going to do a little something else called Noble Healing.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
So are you willing to receive the healing?
Yes.
Okay, take a breath. Good. Exhale, breathe out. So I'm going to say something to you, and all I want you to do is when you feel like you fully received it, good chance to practice receiving. I want you to let yourself fully receive the healing.
Okay.
And then just say when you feel like you fully received it, just say thank you. And then I'll keep asking, just make sure we're good. Sound
Okay.
good? All right.
Are you guys good? Is this cool? Okay.
We didn't expect to go here.
We
This
didn't
is not
expect-
planned.
this was not planned.
This is totally impromptu, but this is,
Okay. And you guys can accept it for yourself too.
Yes. Please
So
accept
we
this
are
for help.
one, so get a chance to have healing from her.
All right.
She's amazing.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, you ready? Okay. Deborah, I am so sorry that you felt devastated and heartbroken and like you wanted to just be on the floor when your first boyfriend broke up with you. Is that what happened?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really sorry about that.
I just feel twinging in my heart. I don't know.
Twinging. Okay. So if we were to give that little twinging in your heart a microphone and you could say its piece about like why maybe it's resisting the healing or whatever, what would it want to say?
It's just scared. I don't know.
And it's scared. I'm scared because
I don't want to be hurt again.
okay, and I think I'll be hurt again because
It happened before.
yeah. No, I get it. I get it. That makes perfect sense to me that you would be scared to be hurt again if you've been hurt before. In fact, anybody who's been hurt or was in your shoes would probably be scared. Right. I think it's really normal. All right, so we're going to do a little tapping. Can I tap for you? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm just going to tap right in your heart. May I touch you on? Mm-hmm. Okay, so just repeat after me. So I'm aware.
I'm aware
that I have this sadness.
That I have this sadness.
Because my first boyfriend broke up with me. And it was so hard. And I didn't understand. Because I cared for him so much. Good. So I'm going to tap on the top of your head. Now, you okay with that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Today, we're doing tapping. It's called Emotional Freedom Techniques. It helps you release unwanted emotions. So today, with God's help, I'm willing to consider that I can release all this sadness. And all this fear. Of being hurt. Can I tap on your sternum?
Sure.
Okay, releasing this sadness. And this fear. From my heart. My body. And my mind. I don't need it anymore.
Ooh, it's leaving.
Good. I've held on to it long enough. I choose to experience love at the highest levels. Peace at the highest levels. Joy at the highest levels. I am good enough. For all that I desire. I'm willing to release this belief. That I am not good enough. To have my soulmate. Or any other aspect. Of the life I desire. I am good enough. And I choose to turn my thoughts.
Oh, that's coming out of my leg. I choose to what?
I choose to align my mind. With my higher wisdom. I release these beliefs. That no longer serve me. It is safe for me to love. It is safe for me to receive. It is safe for me to know that I am good enough. In every part of my being. I choose peace. I choose peace. Good. Take a big deep breath in. Good. Exhale. She's doing a lot of releasing. You can see it when it was like coming out of her body.
I know. It was coming out of my calf.
That happens.
Weird.
Well, that's like, when we're afraid of moving forward, a lot of times we store it in our legs and feet.
So now I'll be able to run on the beach because it won't be.
Yeah. All right. So let's just tune in to that fear you were having of like the fear of meeting my soulmate. I don't know where it was at before, but if we were to rate it from 0 to 10 now, like 10 being the highest, 0 being no fear, where would you say it's at?
Really low, like 2.
And where would you say it was when we started?
Oh, it was like 10 or 11.
Okay, so she came down 8 points. All right, okay.
It was hurting. It was like heart pain.
Right, because it was coming up for healing, because we're like talking about it, and I'm like, your subconscious mind is getting the memo, like, oh, this person might be able to like tap into my subconscious mind, and so it was coming
up. I don't mind that.
Well, you don't mind it. Your ego and your subconscious mind might be like, right, I ain't going there, So anyway, so how are you feeling?
Good.
And so when you think about like meeting your soulmate now, how does it feel?
Good.
Yeah. Good. Nice work.
Yeah.
She's so brave. We totally did not plan this. This was not planned.
No. But when you talk about it, sometimes they have to watch you to experience it.
Yeah.
Because you think you could just read a book or listen to a tape and have it be gone, but it's deeper than that.
Yes. This is such an
look,
important...
Berlin, give me a heart. Thanks, Berlin.
This is such an important point because I was of that camp. I read like 100 books. And I was like, oh, if I just keep reading books, I'm going to solve my problems. But there's a difference between intellectually understanding something, which, of course, it's really hard to get. Unfortunately, it's really hard to get into your own subconscious mind until you have like the skills and the tools. And I wish I could teach them all today, but it would take a couple hours at least. And so it's really, first of all, most people don't have the know-how of how to actually find out what's actually going on subconsciously. The next part is in my experience with myself and my clients, it's not enough just to understand the block. We want to actually release, like you just did, the old energies. You know how she was saying, like, oh, I can feel the energy come in on my legs and all that. We store emotions in our body. It's not just all up here, right? It's not in our head. Like emotions live in our whole body.
Interesting.
Yeah, and if you want to talk about really being in your feminine energy, it's all about being in your body, too. It's about being present to your vessel.
And maybe that's why you got started with Pilates, because Pilates is so much about the fine understanding of your body and
Yeah, I think for me, it was a form of meditation, because you're
Oh,
so focused on your form and precision and
right.
alignment, but it can also become a distraction. Like I
Mm-hmm.
think for me, when I was not finding a man, I was it's funny because when I met my husband, I was at one of my higher weights, and when I used to be a size 4 because I was a trainer and I worked out all the time, I struggled with men. And it just goes to show you that it is not just about our physical bodies at all. And I think that's a lot of trap sometimes we can get caught
Mm-hmm.
in. Like you were saying this morning with the arms, like we think women, we're so picky and we're so critical on ourselves, and we think, oh, it's all about I'm not, I'm overweight or I'm not my perfect body or I have this flaw or whatever. Your love will not care. He will not care. He's going to.
Oh, look, she did it with us. Berlin did it with us.
Oh, nice.
I'm sorry, I was
It'd
behind
be
on the
interesting to
comments.
know if anybody else is feeling a shift from the work from
How
that.
did you feel, Berlin? She says we're
Yeah.
going to meet our silver fox together.
Silver fox. I have
Love
a
it.
silver fox.
She does have a silver fox.
I'm married to a silver
She
fox.
married a silver. I married her. I officiated the wedding.
She did, and you were amazing. And we should tell that story because
Yeah.
that's a freaking amazing story. Should we tell that
Go
story?
ahead.
All right.
Then it'll give
Do we
them
have
hope.
time? Okay.
Yeah.
I have time.
I have time.
All right.
Do you have time, friends? Yeah. Let's
So
do it.
as I mentioned, she was doing coaching and hypnotherapy with me when I was what?
Berlin says she feels great.
Oh, good, awesome. So she was doing coaching with me when I was struggling with, being caught in my pattern. And she did this amazing hypnotherapy session with me one day.
People don't know I do hypnotherapy. My friend that came over the other day was saying, you should go back to doing NLP and hypnotherapy. I bet you're very powerful. I would love to have a session with you. I'm like, oh, okay.
No, that's great. So she was doing a hypnotherapy session with me, and we were doing this thing called channeling your higher self. I know it sounds super woo, but it's pretty amazing. You should really try it. And so what came out was, the intention of the session is, figuring out why I'm struggling with relationships and why this isn't happening for me. And I'm in hypnosis, and she asked, okay, why is it that you're struggling with relationships, or what do you need to know? I think it was something like along those lines. What do you need to know to be able to move forward? And what came forward was, I am love.
Mm-hmm.
And
I remember that.
you do?
Because I started tearing up because it was so truthful.
Yeah.
Like it was capital T, the truth.
Yeah. It was I am love. And it was the first time I'd ever really felt or thought that, I felt like my whole life I'd been reaching for love from other people instead of understanding that it was already in me. I was already it. You are it. And so what I want to tell you about this is when I got that download, I knew it's not just for me. This is everybody.
Right.
Everybody is love. Some of us, we just forget. We forget. We think we're not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Or this thing happens, whatever. But the truth, like you were saying, capital T truth, is we are love. And so when we can tune into that energy, what happens is we are much more primed and available and ready to attract the kind of, holy relation, like the not egoic relationship. Because I got to tell you, I was really clear, and I'm sure you really are, and so probably some of the people listening, I didn't want to be in just any relationship. I'd already had bad relationships.
Exactly.
I'd already had ego drama. I'd already had, just all kinds of, subpar, not to judge, but they felt subpar to me. Meaning I knew there was a part of me that knew, I think, what was actually capable in a relationship and didn't want to settle. And I did at times. At times I would settle because you think, oh my God, well, this is the best thing I found yet. Maybe I should just go for it.
Right.
How many people have done that? We've all done that. Don't beat yourself up. We've all done it, right? And then there was a part of me that was like, no, I want the highest level of relationship. I want a conscious relationship. I want a happy relationship. And so
a soul-based relationship,
yes.
Spiritually funded and
yes.
grounded.
Yes. And so a conscious high-level relationship requires both people to be in alignment with truth as often as possible. Not all the time. We're human. We're going to fall in and out, until we're like the Buddha.
Right.
But it's about the intention of tapping into higher consciousness and not being, stuck in survival or ego or instinct or things that, have their purpose, but don't bring us to the highest level.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm all about the highest level.
Me too, fan.
I know you are. That's why we like each other so much. So, anyways.
So you're gonna finish the story?
Oh, the story. Got so distracted. Okay, so the story. That's right. The story is that after that session, it was so powerful. Deborah just blurts out. She goes, "I want to marry you one day," meaning I want to be your wedding officiant. Oh, and there's my silver fox. Hi, honey. My husband is not watching. And so she's
so sweet and supportive. He's watching her
He
now.
always watches. All right. Oh, we got a fabulous. All right, we got a fabulous.
Thank you,
Okay.
Julianne. Oh, you're getting into everything. Okay.
Anyways, so she's turning it off so I don't get distracted with so many beautiful, bright, shiny objects. Okay, so Deborah says to me, "I want to marry you," because Deborah is this amazing wedding officiant, and I was like, "Yeah, that would make perfect sense. You just helped me have this amazing breakthrough, and like I adore you, so of course you're gonna marry me." So I took her business card and I had a vision board and I stuck it up on my vision board. Okay,
Berlin, that could be you. You were in the vision board
it could be
workshop.
any of you.
Yeah.
And so I stuck it on my vision board. And I go, so a few months later, after, I'm ending my dating fast, because I took 6 months off to do the inner work and heal and figure out what was going on inside me to break the pattern. And then I started, kind of putting feelers out there, going on a few dates here and there. And then, not too long later, I met this man. And, he was definitely, I had an intuitive pull towards him as soon as I even saw his photo. But I was kind of cautious because I had a lot of false alarms. So I was like, okay, let's just take this a day at a time, see if it's what it seems to be. And so we kind of chatted for a couple of weeks, and then he Facebook friends me. Now, this was in the early days of Facebook where people didn't have 5,000 friends. People had like 20 friends.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now we're dating ourselves, but this is like when Facebook just came out. And so the guy I was talking to, he sends me a Facebook request, and I noticed that we have one friend in common. And it was her. It was her, and
because I was in his law of attraction group.
You guys were in each other's law of
Yeah,
attraction.
he was in my group.
So the man who is now my husband was in her law of attraction group, as was I, but we never met on the same day. We just somehow missed each other. We actually have like 5 ways of like things we were both like. Yeah, we even going to the same yoga teacher, and we never met. I know. Yeah, but I know it's because I wasn't ready. The universe waited.
It's alignment.
The universe waited till I was ready to fully receive it.
Back to the comment that you were saying earlier about being receptive.
Yeah, because
highlight that part.
Because my husband is an incredibly generous, masculine, providing man, and I had to be ready to like take it all in and be able to receive it. If not, I probably would have sabotaged it. So I'm glad that the universe waited till I was ready to receive, and that's why I was saying that's why the theme of this thing today seems to be receiving, right? Yes. Anyway, so make a long story short, they weren't just Facebook friends. They actually knew each other. They were actually friends. And so a few months after I moved in with my husband, I had my vision board up in my office, and I forgot that I had an engagement ring and her thing in there. And so my husband comes to my office, and he's looking at my vision board. He'd never really like looked at it.
When they were dating, not her husband.
Well, we were living together, but we hadn't really he hadn't asked me to marry him yet. It was still kind of, we had talked about it, that it was a potential, but it wasn't like we hadn't locked and sealed the deal, if you know what I'm saying. And he comes and he looks at my vision board, and he goes, "Why is Deborah Deras' card on your vision board?" And I was like, I didn't know what to say because I didn't want to make him feel pressured. All these books say, don't talk about marriage, whatever, which I don't agree with, by the way. I think you need to be honest.
That's why I love her as a coach. She doesn't agree with all the rules.
No, most of those, because I tried them all and they backfired in my face. So it's not because I don't like them. It's just because I tried them and they didn't work. Right. So I tried something else that did work. And so basically, he looks at your card and he says, "Why is Deborah Deras' card on your vision board?" And then he goes, "Do you want her to marry us one day?" He knew. I don't know how he knew. But he's like, and I was like, and I felt like a deer in headlights because I didn't know if it would scare him. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, "Oh, okay." And he walks out of the office. And she did marry us, and she was amazing. Everybody loved her. Our wedding colors were her 2 favorite colors, so it all worked out. And it was amazing. And I think it's so amazing. I feel like that was the universe starting to teach me that you can trust me.
And now she's going to marry me.
Yes, I am going to marry her one day.
I'm going to put your business card on my vision board.
You should do it.
Okay, great.
I have one in a million.
Now that she did the session.
Yes.
So how can people work with you? What is ways that they can continue this love fest? And by the way, thank you for sharing that story. And bringing her here today is just such a blessing because I love you so much. I love that you're so in joy. I love that you're so happy. She came and she sat next to me. I'm like, we're supposed to be setting up. I'm like, you're so beautiful. And she's like, that's what I was thinking about you. It's just, there's nothing that you want more than for your friends to be happy, joyful, successful, and especially people that you've worked with in a client capacity. And so the fact that she is here to anchor and hold the consciousness of love and say to you, it's not just something I talk about, it's something that I've been through, it's something that I've experienced, and it's something that I can support you to transcend, release, and let go of any barriers to love. Because what is that quote about love? It's not about getting love, about removing the barriers to allowing love.
Yeah, it's my favorite quote. It's Rumi. Your task is not to seek for love, but to simply find and release all the barriers within you against it.
You see that? And so what do you have that can support them with that?
Yeah, so I have a few different ways. So I do work privately one-on-one with people, both in my home office in Los Angeles, but also all over the world through, Zoom or other video conference apps, or, telephone is fine. Interestingly enough, I'm sure you probably experienced this too, considering you gave me a phone session, is that phone works just as well as in person. I mean, it's always nice when I can tap for somebody, but I can teach people how to do that for themselves. I can talk them through it. So I work with people. I've worked with people all over the world. It's been pretty amazing.
And her clientele continues to grow and grow and grow and grow.
Yes. And I also have, for people that prefer community, or and obviously things are different price points too, but I also have group coaching programs, one in particular which Deborah has been a part of, called Becoming a Soulmate Magnet, which is, it's sort of my little baby. I have a lot of programs, but it's sort of my favorite baby. It's the most popular because it really is about that 90% inner work. And then I do also have another program that is actually launching on Wednesday that is for the 10% piece. So for those of you that are doing online dating and want to really use that as a way of meeting quality potential partners, I have a new program that's coming out. The material is not new, but I used to only teach it to my private clients, and now I'm putting it into a digital course, and and they actually will be the first time we're going to record it live. And then there'll be some Q&A calls, but it's all about what to do with your profile, what to do with your pictures, so that it's in alignment with who you are. It's authentic, but it showcases you in a positive way, and also will encourage the right kind of partners to self-select in or self-select out. So that's another piece of the puzzle. I did meet my husband online, and one of the things I finally got after I rewrote my profile 35 times was, how do you write a profile that will, kind of like the right person would go right to it and go, that's her, that's my person. And
she out just the texting people.
Yeah, exactly. Meaning, when I first started online dating, I had my acting headshots, they were airbrushed, whatever. I looked way more pretty than I am, and I got a lot of responses, but it was overwhelming, and a lot of them weren't matches. And towards the end, I had a different type of picture up. I had written my profile in a way where I was getting so many less responses, but the people who were responding, they were good candidates. I mean, they were high quality, spiritual, intelligent, men. They had a lot of the things on my, must-have list, and I just started attracting, even before I met my husband, a lot higher quality men. Now, a lot of it was the shift in abundance. I had released a lot of the fears. I had rewritten a lot of the stories about, what's possible, meaning I didn't even think there were any marriage-minded men in LA for many years. I had to rewrite that. I had to be willing to consider there's at least one man who's marriage-minded in LA. At least. Probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions, but there's at least one. And I had to be willing to open the space for that. So the online dating successes will really cover that 10% piece of what to do with your profile. But I also am offering the bonus of called Mastering the Inner Mindset of Successful Dating. And that's where we're going to get into, what kind of mindset can you put yourself into so you're not getting burnt out?
Right.
So that you're not feeling
ain't nobody got time for a bad date.
Right? And so mindset is, as is everything. Right. Whether it's money, whether it's your career, whether it's your health, whether it's dating, relationship. Mindset is, in my opinion, the number one thing you would want to start with if you want to truly be successful, because mind controls everything. Mind controls action. Mind controls behavior. Tearing up again. Why are you tearing?
No. I'm
okay. All right. And so that's that. And then the other bonus that you'll get with the online dating success system is another teleclass called How to Avoid Online Dating Burnout. Oh. Right. Ooh. And that's the self-care piece. That's how, what can we do while we're on this journey of putting ourselves out there, because there is always risk, even if we're
Right.
in alignment, like it may not go perfect 100%. It's always for our highest good, and we can always grow from it, but sometimes there's bumps and they don't feel good.
Right.
So it's all about how can you create the kind of network and support system so that even if you go on a bad date, you're like off and running the next day.
Next.
Right? It's not crushing you. It's not taxing you. It's
Right.
not taking everything out of you so that you don't even want to go on another date because you're just over it. Because I've been there. I stopped dating like 7 times at least. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to go like, curl up in bed and don't talk to me for 2 days.
Netflix and chill with your dog.
Yeah, Netflix and chill with myself. I didn't have a dog.
Well, I have a stuffed animal though.
So anyway, so that's that. And the suggested retail price is $9.97, but the first time price, because the technology is new, not the material, but the technology is only if you sign up by the 21st, $47.
What?
Yeah,
Shut up, man.
I'm serious.
I don't even want an online date, but it's such a good price. Maybe I'll do it. Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, because it's the technology's new. So I know, I believe, I know this material works. I believe in the power of the content, but the technology, I mean, sometimes when you're using technology, there might be glitches. So I'm just like, I'm going to give you a great price if you can be forgiving that there may be a technical glitch or two. It happens.
What is the bonus again?
So the 2 bonuses are, there's 3 bonuses. So there's 4 modules, okay? There's getting started with online dating. There's profiles that attract great matches, pictures that attract great matches. And then the 4th one is sorting and selecting, meaning and connecting. Like, how do you choose who to respond to?
And the video, are they videos? Are they live or they're recorded?
They're
and
most
delivered?
likely going to be a combination of live teleseminar and live webinar. Okay, so they'll be both by phone and by video chat, and I might also have some PowerPoint showing different profiles and things like that. The bonuses, the first one is a live Q&A call. That's where you can call in and get live spot coaching with me.
Like I did.
Right. Something, whether it's mindset coaching or whether it's a question about your profile, you can call in and get the members of the program can call in and get coach, spot coaching from me. The second is mastering the mindset of successful dating. Right. And that's where it's like, how can you put yourself in this space where even if you go on a bad date, you are still confident. You still know that you have worth, that there's, you can still say hopeful and optimistic. There's a great guy out there. And so that it's basically about becoming unbreakable, unbreakable confidence, knowing that it's like having that sort of inner confidence.
And that will help you, by the way, in your career as well.
Oh,
if you
for
have
sure.
Unbreakable confidence, it transcends. It doesn't just stay in relationships. It goes everywhere.
Absolutely. I always tell people that the work you do that this was true for me, the work you do to manifest your soulmate, the inner transformational work will color every area of your life.
So sorry if you make more money in the process.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So
sorry, not sorry.
Where do they go to sign up? And I'll put it in the comments.
So let's just say that we're going to put the link in the comments. Is that cool?
Yeah,
because
that's cool.
It's kind of a long URL. I try to get a short one, but you know how that goes. So it's kind of a long URL. So we'll just put the link in the comments and they can go straight there.
And aren't you having a challenge, like a 7-day thing? Or
Well, I did. That actually ended yesterday, but I'll probably run another one later in the year. So if you follow my coaching page, which is Jennifer Gaynor-Yaker.
That's in the profile.
Yes, that I always announce my events there. So if they follow me there, they'll learn about all the different programs, events that I'm doing.
So make sure you like her page that's in the bio and subscribe so that you get notifications. So when she goes live, because I'm sure you're going to go live too sometimes, right?
Oh, I go live. I go live I go through phases. I'll be really busy and then I won't, and then I'll go live 3 times a week. It just depends.
And her practice is overflowing. You if I Google you, you come up number 1 for Venice Life Coach.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've been on the internet for a while, so you know how that works.
SEO queen. Well, I just want to say thank you, Jennifer. I know you have many choices. She had another show that was booked at 1. I'm like, oh, but I want you with me. I want you next to me. I want to feel you. I want to touch you. I want to get. And that was so great because we got to do the tapping. I knew there was a reason I wanted you here in person.
Yeah, it felt really aligned for me to come in person too.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
We only live 10 minutes from each other.
I know.
Kind of works out.
Yes. So any comments or questions before we go? We were only going to do 20 minutes, and of course, us both being chatty patties did a whole hour.
Has it been an hour?
Is it legal to go on Facebook Live for an hour?
Oh
my God. Seriously, friend.
But we have 6 people who stay. Thank you guys.
No,
so much.
and there's lots more. That number is totally inaccurate because look at all the people that are on here.
All right.
It's just look.
All right. Wait, did my husband say something? What did he say?
Did he say?
Or that was just him Oh, I thought I saw him say something.
So, any questions before we allow the love
Hi,
coach,
honey.
dating coach to roam out the cabin? Hey, honey. Can I call you honey?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
So, any questions? Hi, Maggie. Hi, JC. She's awesome. She's a health coach. She's so fantastic. Okay. Rose says, excellent. Oh, you
Thank
stayed
you.
till the
Excellent.
end. Wow, Rose.
Let's give her a thumbs
Berlin
up.
says, thank you. Thumbs up
You're
for
welcome.
you, Rose.
You're welcome.
Oh, yeah, my pleasure. It was like just a miracle that our schedules worked out. And you're the
That's the miracle.
you're the first person on the Deb Talk. So just so you know, I'm going to be doing these Deb Talks every Monday at noon for Motivational Monday. I'm going to be bringing to you experts on topics such as love, relationships, abundance, and more, my friends, because I believe that we are all dynamic, empowered, and bold, and deserve to have all of these blessings in our life because it is our divine inheritance. We don't need to deserve it, like my limiting belief that's gone. Do I seem different, friends?
Yay!
Wow!
Look at her. She's
feel
all
good.
glowy. She was glowy before, but now she's like, woo.
Glowy. Yeah, that twingy, because it was stabbing my heart. And now I feel unencumbered. I feel lighter. And
Yay!
and also not pressured. Like there's a certain pressure when you're single, like, oh, it's Valentine's Day and I was actually going to do something just to do something. I'm like, no, I'm going to do something for me. Self-love to me is going to Agape. So I'm just going to go take myself to Agape and
awesome.
Unconditional love. And I'll wear red with pride. So I want to say thank you so much for joining us. Please make sure you follow Jennifer, take advantage of her wonderful offer for that seminar, and make sure that you also like my business page, my fan page, which is Deborah Deras Live. We have some great videos on there. And I want you to remind you that with the power of what? Synergy. Anything is possible.
That sounds like, isn't that a drink?
Synergy activated.
I think that's some kombucha. Did you know there's like kombucha tea stole your
Oh,
name?
yeah, they stole it, Fred. I had it first.
Stole it.
Hi, friends.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you soon. Bye.